Hello, and welcome to our channel. Today, we will be presenting Parks Nightfall, an expansion for Parks. It was designed by Mattox Shuler and illustrated by the 59 Parks print series. The expansion was first published in 2021 by Keymaster Games. This time, players will go hiking with tents. This will allow them to camp along the trail and perform new actions. It is a 1 to 5 player game, suitable for anyone over 10, and has a length of 40 to 70 minutes. Let's see what Parks Nightfall is about. If you don't know how to play Parks, we recommend checking first our video about the base game, and then continue with this expansion. Set up the game as usual, but with the following changes. Shuffle the new Nightfall Park cards with the ones from the base game, and place the deck onto the board, revealing 3 cards as usual. The park cards included in this expansion have instant actions. They are identified by the lightning icon to the right of the tokens required to visit the park. Remember that you must first pay the tokens needed to visit the park, and then you may perform that instant action. For example, this action allows you to reserve a park, and this one, to take a photo using a forest token. If you don't take the action when you visit the park, you will miss out on its opportunity. Some new parks also have a brown square with a number in it. To visit these parks, you must turn in any combination of tokens, as long as they equal the specified number. The discount provided by some of the gear cards to visit parks only applies to those specific tokens. Therefore, it can't be used to replace the tokens needed by brown squares. Set up the trail following the original rules, and then place the campsite board below the trailhead. In 5-player games, place the tile with the 5+ symbol by the campsite board. In games with less players, return it to the box. Next, shuffle the remaining campsite tiles. Add 3 to the campsite area, and discard the rest. Make sure all campsites are flipped to their Season 1 side. The year deck from the base game must be returned to the box. It won't be used with this expansion. Instead, shuffle the New Year deck and deal 2 cards to each player. Choose one of the cards and discard the other to the bottom of the deck. Place the deck onto the campsite board. These year cards give players new personal goals and variants of the ones from the base game. Goals are now incremental, so the better you accomplish them, the more points you will score. They will reward 1 or even 2 points per goal. For example, if you have this card, you will gain 1 point for each pair of forest tokens on your park cards at the end of the game. You can also acquire more cards during the game, through actions on some of the new park cards and the new campsites. Give each player a wildlife token. Once the weather is set up, place a tent on the site directly before the trail end, and continue moving towards the trailhead, placing a tent on every other site. Therefore, there should be an empty trail site between each site with a tent. In 1 to 3 player games, only 3 tents are used. In 4 to 5 player games, an additional tent will be added. Place it between the 2 tents closest to the trailhead. Let's see how this expansion works. The gameplay follows the rules of the base game with the following changes. As we mentioned before, now there are campsites in the game. They will provide new experiences on the trail. At the beginning of each season, some trail sites will have a tent on them, indicating that a campsite is available at that location. When you place a hiker on one of these sites, you have to choose one of the following 2 options. You can visit the site as usual, taking its action, and the weather token if there's still one. Or take the tent on the site, and place it on an available campsite, to take its action. Campsite tiles feature actions that often change at the end of a season. Some of them can be performed up to 2, or even 3 times during the same turn. The campsite board allows you to draw 2 year cards from the deck, by turning in 3 sunshine tokens. Then, discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. It doesn't need to be one of the 2 cards drawn during this action. In 1 to 3 player games, only one slot for a tent is available in the campsite board. In 4 to 5 player games, use the side of the board which has 2 slots. As usual, the camera allows players to turn in any one token when taking a photo. However, if you visit a campsite or park that allows you to take a photo using a specific token, and you have the camera with you, you can turn in any token instead of the one required. If you visit a site with another hiker that still has a weather token, you will gain it when taking that site's action. Gear cards that reference a specific trail site still activate even if you choose to camp at that site. There is an optional rule that changes the value of wildlife tokens. They are considered to be worth 2 tokens for the brown square symbol instead of 1. This comes into play when visiting parks that have that symbol, or when taking photos on the trail. In addition to the normal steps of the season change, remove all tents from the campsites and the trail. Where necessary, flip campsites so that the number on the bottom left corresponds to the next season. This will provide new actions at the campsite area. Place the tents on the new trail, as you did during the first setup, and you will be ready for the next season. When the 4th season ends, the game will be over. Follow the scoring rules of the original game, but bear in mind the following things. Each year card in play will be scored, and there is no limit to the number of cards a player may have. However, if someone has multiple copies of the same card, only one of them will be scored. Remember that only the icons to the left of the lightning symbol are used to score your goals. Icons in the instant action area do not count. The quality of the new cards, tents, tiles and campsite board continues to be outstanding. The new park cards include the 17 parks that were missing in the base game and night illustrations of some of the ones we already had. The addition of new instant actions and the brown square symbol is a wise move. Now, you have different ways of getting parks and some rewards that might help you in future rounds. Tents also change the game, offering new actions and somehow minimizing interaction among players. Now, visiting an already occupied site that has a tent isn't that bad. You will either perform the action of the site and take the bonus token from the weather pattern, or if the other player already did that, you will have access to the campsite area where you can choose one of the new actions available. In our opinion, this expansion is a must. It changes the game subtly and solves some issues that certain players disliked, offering new and interesting actions and more balanced end-of-the-game goals. What do you think about this expansion? We hope to read your comments, and remember, if you have enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like it. To be up to date with our latest videos, subscribe to the channel and click the bell. We will continue playing in our next video.